As a school leader, how much of your day is spent writing emails? Because AI will reduce this by more than 50%. That is why in this video, I'm going to share 3 strategies that I've taught to hundreds of different school leaders all across the nation, different principals, different superintendents, and all types of school leaders. But my name is William Groovy. I'm the founder of Groovy Education. We have integrated AI into all of these schools here. Additionally, we work with different admin state level organizations to train the members under their umbrella as well. We're going to be going through this document here using AI for email communication, a guide for school leaders. If you want this document, it's just going to be the first link in the YouTube description. I highly recommend following along. We'll send a copy off to your email so you always have a copy, but also just redirect you straight to this page so you can follow along. Additionally, it's going to be in the school community as well. If you're in this is going to be the second link in the description. You'll just want to go to the classroom tab, and then you'll find it in the AI toolkit for schools here. Using AI for email communication, it's going to be near the bottom here. You can click on it here as well. But let's get right into this document. We're going to go over 3 different main use cases. When we have to draft a brand new email, when we have to respond to an email, and when we have to respond to a more complex email. Think maybe a long thread or just an email that has a lot of different points in it that we need to address. But first off, just drafting a new email. So I'm going to go ahead and open up ChatGPT. It's going to be linked up in the document right here if you want to get that open. But in this situation, we need to send an email to staff about an upcoming PD day. And I'm just going to take this document here, which is the document that we give to schools that they're supposed to send to their staff to prepare for our AI training that we deliver. And just shows them how to create an account in the online training portal. So as a school leader, I might get this and know I need to send this email off to my teachers. So what I could do is say something like, as a principal, I need to create an email about a specific topic, include all necessary details, ensure clarity, and use simple and straightforward wording. Here's the relevant information. And you're always going to want to give ChatGPT all of the context that you have that you would put into drafting this email. So I'm going to show you how I would go about doing this. I would take a prompt like this, type it out, or I'm just going to copy and paste this one. I'm going to say, as a principal, I need to create an email about our upcoming AI training. And I could simply say, attached is the relevant context. I'm going to say, include a link to the document attached as well. So in this case, I want all this information to the teachers, but I also want to link them to this document. So I'm just going to download this here to my computer because I can attach anything onto my ChatGPT prompt from my computer. And then I'm going to go ahead and just drag it in. Additionally, if I press this plus sign, I can press on upload from computer and grab anything. But now we have this full document as context, which is what we would use. And then I can just send this through, and ChatGPT is going to go ahead and draft that email. So instead of me manually having to read through this whole document, go over to Gmail, go back and forth, try and write this whole email out to make it super clear, we're just going to get an instant first draft ready to go. It even includes the links, the same links that are on the document. If I click on this one, it's going to be the same exact link as if I click on this one. So super, super, super helpful there. And then I could simply just take this, copy it, head back over to Gmail and paste it in, and we already have that first draft going. I can go in here and edit it as much as I would like before sending it off. So that's use case 1, just crafting an email. Make sure to give ChatGPT the context that you had that you would put into creating this email. But use case 2 is going to be responding to an email. So responding to an email can be super, super helpful, but we want to give ChatGPT that email. But also it's very important to note that, say if that email has student names in it or parent names in it, we need to take those out. So if it has a student name in it, take it out, but John Doe, Jane Doe, whatever fake name you can think of in the moment. Or if it has multiple students, you could do something like student 1, student 2, student 3, whatever it may be. In here, you'll find Groovy Education's Guide to Data Privacy with AI, so you can review that as well. But essentially, to give ChatGPT that email, I'm going to act as I'm responding to this email here. and just says, "Dear Principal Johnson, I've heard the staff meeting scheduled for Friday at 3:30 has been moved to Monday at 8 a.m. Is this right?" So here I just got an email. I need to draft a quick response. Maybe I'm thinking, no, it's Tuesday at 8 a.m. So I'm going to click on this reply button, and then I'm going to do a Command A or Control A on Windows, Command A on Mac, and it's going to grab the whole thread. Now I could copy it here as well. That's fine. I typically go in here and just do a Control A. So that way, if it's a big long thread, I'm going to get all of the emails. Then I'm just going to copy it. And I'm going to head over to ChatGPT, and I'm going to simply paste it in. And now ChatGPT has all this context. Again, if it has a student name in it, or a student email in it, or a parent name, or a parent email, we would want to take that out. And then under this, I'm going to do a shift, return, return. This is going to give me new lines. If I were to just click return or enter, it's going to send it through. But if I do a shift, return, it's just going to give me a new line. And then in this case, we're just going to say draft a response to this email. I want to say this. Use simple, clear, straightforward wording. So I could grab something like this prompt or type it out, paste it in here. And since ChatGPT has all that context, now I can just say maybe something like, no, the email is at, or no, the meeting is actually at 8 a.m. on Tuesday. Tell him to help spread the word. Send it through, and ChatGPT is going to go ahead and draft that email. So maybe after a long day, you sit down, you're going through your inbox, and you just don't have much brain power left to try and draft super clear responses. But you want something nice and clear that you can send off. We can get this draft super quickly and get it off to Mr. Parker here. Paste it in. Now, when you're pasting an email into ChatGPT, if I were to just do a Control V or Command V on Mac to paste it in, I'm going to get some weird formatting in here, like there's space above this. In between the lines, there's some space, but I can't click in here. So that's why if you do a Command or Control on Windows, Command on Mac, Shift V, then it's going to paste it without any formatting. And now I don't get that weird formatting in there, and I can still have new lines in between these and it not look funky. So just a little tip there. But that is how we can use AI just to respond to a simple email. But next, we're going to want to handle a more complex email. So this is use case 3 in the document. So this would be, maybe it's a super long thread and you're not sure what you all need to address. ChatGPT can be very, very helpful in that. It'll let you know exactly what you need to address. Or maybe it's just a big long email that you got from a parent and there's lots of variables in it. You have to be crafty about the response, maybe bring in policy, whatever it may be, just a lot of variables and a lot of nuance in the email. That's where doing what's in use case 3 is going to be most helpful. So we're going to go through the same process where we click on reply and then do a Control A to select the whole thread. Then we're still going to copy and paste that into ChatGPT. But then instead of just telling ChatGPT to draft a response right away, we're going to say, what information do you need from me to craft a clear and effective response to this email? Ask me a list of questions that would give you the context you need. I will answer them. After I answer them, draft a response based on my answers. So this is super, super helpful. When it's super long, there's a lot of nuance and you're not sure what to include in your ChatGPT prompt to draft the email. You can just ask ChatGPT exactly what it needs, and then you can answer it, and then ChatGPT will draft it based off of your answers. So in this case, I'm going to take this email. It's just a fake email that I made with ChatGPT, but it says, "Dear Principal Johnson, I'm reaching out about how a recent discipline issue involving my child Jacob was handled at Lincoln Middle School. On March 12th, Jacob was involved in an incident with another student at lunch. They got in a verbal disagreement, and they don't feel that consequences were applied fairly because their student got a 2-day suspension, but the other student only received a verbal wording," and so on. So in this case, I'm still going to click on reply and do a Control A. Again, you could just copy it here. This is super helpful when you have a longer thread. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go back over to ChatGPT. I'm going to start a new chat. I'm going to paste it in. But now this email has the parent name in it. So here, Lisa Reynolds, and it also has the student name with Jacob. So we do want to take that out. So for Lisa Reynolds, I'm just going to put parent name. That's anonymizing it. And for Jacob, I can do the same. I could put John Doe, I could put Jane Doe, whatever fake name I can think of, or I could just put student name. And there we go. Now it's anonymized. Now, if their email is up here as well, don't forget to take this out. Of course, this is just mine, but make sure to anonymize the whole thing. So there's no student names in it. And make sure, here's Jacob again. So I'm going to go student name. Just make sure it's all anonymized. But now again, I'm going to do that shift, return, or enter, and I'm going to get a couple new lines. Again, if I just click enter, it's going to send it through. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to click on shift and then return. And then I could type out or take a prompt like this. I'll copy this one, paste it in. And again, this one is just asking ChatGPT for a list of questions that it needs as context. So again, it says, what information do you need from me to craft a clear and effective response to this email? Ask me a list of questions that would give you the context you need. I will answer them. After I answer them, draft a response based on my answers. So I could send this through. And now ChatGPT is just going to give me a list of questions and I can go in and answer them. So see right off the bat, what's the school's discipline policy? So I could attach the policy onto this prompt and say, hey, attach this to policy I followed. I could copy and paste it into the prompt. But how I typically do this is just go something like 1. I'll answer the first set of questions. Maybe I want to say attached is the policy I followed. And then I'll do a shift enter. I'll get a new line. Were both students involved equally in the incident? Maybe no. And I could elaborate on what actually happened. Maybe I want to say attached is the security cam footage in the email that I will send back. Again, you can just sit here and kind of context dump based on all these questions. And you can go through them all. If there's ever too many questions, you could say something like, here we have 8, and like each of them have kind of some embedded questions in here. So this is a lot. Sometimes it's too much like this. You could just say, hey, reduce the number of questions, whatever, and it's going to give you probably like 4 questions instead of all 8. But here I can just context dump. I can quickly go through these. I don't have to worry about clarity and grammar. ChatGPT is just going to kind of take all of this and be able to figure it out and draft the response. So I'm not going to go through and answer all 8, but I'll just say attached is the policy I followed, and no, I'll attach the security cam footage on the email that I'll send back. And here, of course, I don't have any policy on my computer, but maybe I just want to grab a document here, send it through. And ChatGPT is going to draft a response based off of what I said. Here it said, it looks like you did not attach a policy. You attached a document that relates to AI training. So again, ChatGPT is really helpful in this back and forth iterative conversation. If it doesn't have all the context that it needs, it'll probably say something like, hey, what about this? And then eventually it will go ahead and draft the email. I'm just going to say draft the email anyways, and ChatGPT will go ahead and draft an email. And we can get that email drafted quickly. You'll see here it says, additionally, I've reviewed the security footage of the incident, which provides further context regarding the decisions made. So like I mentioned in this here. So those are the 3 big strategies, and I use these every single day for email communication, especially use case 3 when it's a complicated thread. Super, super helpful. But just provide clear context. The more details you include, the more specific details you include, the better response you're going to get. Vague prompt in, vague prompt out. Then always review, of course, the emails before sending them off, making sure they're exactly what you want. I always like to teach this good 80-20 split, where ChatGPT is great in doing that first 80% of content generation, but then we're going in and doing that last 20% of quality assurance and adding that human touch and making it exactly what we are looking for. But if you like super practical, real world things that you can take and use right away, just like this, I highly recommend subscribing. I'll be posting many more videos like this, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.